morning, campers! It's a beautiful day as we enter the Mojave Desert over Tehachapi Pass. You can hear we are in E-coast mode at the moment, coasting slightly uphill past the westbound way station on California Highway 58. It's one of those fancy things that this new transmission does is it coasts a lot to save fuel. So right now we're coasting over the top of this little hill here. There we go. It just threw it back into gear as we crested the top. But that let us drop down to about 50 mile an hour, and now it put it back into gear so we don't gain speed as fast going down the back, because it doesn't. Basically, it's smart enough to try to avoid spending fuel to go over a hill when we're just going to gain back all the speed we need on the downhill. And there, it's got the engine brake going. And then we're going to get to the bottom here. It's probably going to cut that coast again. No, back to 12. All right. Smart transmission. Very cool. Are we going to coast over this little hill? Maybe? No? No, it's content to let us stay in 12th for this one. I guess we got a bit of downhill coming, don't we? Yeah. So that's the Mojave Desert out in front of us, specifically the city of Mojave, California. High winds ahead. Oh. High loads and campers not recommended. That's not good. How high are the high winds? Because we've got 30,000 in the box, which is not enough. Not enough for me to feel real good about that, because that only puts us at about 70,000 gross, which I guess is pretty close to our max weight, isn't it? Let's just step down our wind, our fully loaded wind guidelines would normally have me stop once the wind gusts got above 50 mile an hour. We'll just step that down to like 45. Find out if that's what we're dealing with. Alright, so I guess it's time to turn on the weather radio. So, cool thing in this new truck is I can turn on the weather radio. From the steering wheel.
Lows 53 to 58. Thursday, partly cloudy. Patchy fog in the morning. The forecast for the Kern County Desert. Tonight, mostly clear. North winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts to around to 75 miles an hour.
What?
Until midnight, becoming northwest 5 to 15 miles an hour after midnight. Columbus Day through Monday night, mostly clear.
Did that just say 75?
10 miles an hour with gusts to around 30 miles an hour in the morning, becoming west up to 10 miles an hour. Tuesday, sunny. From Mojave, low tonight 54. High Columbus Day 77. Low Monday night 55.
I'm sorry, did I mishear that?
Tuesday 79. For Eagle Kern, low tonight 53. The forecast for the Tulare County Mountains. Tonight, clear. Gusts up to 110 miles an hour until midnight.
There's no way.
Columbus
There's
Day
no way.
Night, sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly clear.
Okay, so I think both of those really ridiculous wind gusts were up in like the high elevations of the mountains. So I'm not going to overly panic about that. I'll keep checking the weather reports every hour or so, see what the wind speeds, the observed wind speeds are, and we'll make our decisions from those. But the forecast wind speeds, at least in the areas along the highways, seem to be about 20 to 30 mile an hour tonight. So we might have to stop if the gusts really pick up, but I think we can at least get to Vegas before things get bad. Yikes! Yikes! 100, I've never heard over 100 mile an hour wind gust in a weather service forecast, except during like a hurricane. That is incredible. 110 mile an hour. Can you believe that? Good grief. All right, well, we're going to keep heading across the desert. We should be coming up on Edwards Air Force Base right around now. That's probably it somewhere off to the right. Actually, I think that is it on the right there. Yeah, Edwards Air Force Base. NASA. Neil Armstrong Flight Research Center. I love that all the cool NASA places have their own signs out here. I was driving along the 210 in the LA basin, and the JPL has a sign on the road like, hey, this is the exit for NASA JPL. Cool. I love that the Jet Propulsion Lab is still a big enough deal that they get their own call out on the freeway signs. That's pretty darn cool. There's a whole train of intermodal semi-trailers on the right. That is kind of cool. Any of those primes? I don't see any prime trailers on that train. That's vaguely disappointing. chilled at the Loves in Brigham City, Utah for a little while, killing time between loads. we had some fun with this trailer. This brand spanking new trailer. It started leaking oil all over my catwalk. So after we delivered at the Costco DC in Salt Lake this morning, we ran it back over to the Prime Yard. They worked on it for most of the morning. Got it back up and running. They kept the reefer workable the entire morning. We never lost temperature in the trailer, which is awesome. Because this is a frozen ice cream load, so of course that like bumped me straight up to the top of the get this fixed now queue. Yeah, but they bumped me right on up to the top of the priority list for getting that repaired, and then so they got that fixed. We wandered up here to the Loves in Brigham City, just chilled there for a bit. But it is now 2 hours until our appointment time at the Wal-Mart's DC here in Corinne, Utah. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and I don't care. Again, bleeding speed. Yes, I know there's a Jersey barrier there. Excellent job, Mr. Apophis. Very good at detecting Jersey barriers. Need more speed. Still went into that a bit too fast. Let's turn the signal off. This truck has turn signals that cancel themselves, and they never do it when I would actually want them to. It's only when I want them to stay on. Like, I like keeping my turn signal on fully through my turn until I'm like on the road going in the direction I want to go in. Is when I'll turn my turn signal off when I have control of it. But now this thing will turn the turn signal off halfway through a turn. Anytime I start working the wheel back in the opposite direction, it's just like, oh, we're done now, okay. And it's like, no, I have a trailer behind me. We're not done. We've got to get the trailer through this maneuver as well. Oh yes, I know, Mr. Apophis. There's a guardrail. It's very, very scary. Very scary indeed. You're gonna pull out in front of me, right? Right? You can do it. You can do it. I'm not going that fast. No, you're going to try and turn left. All right. It's an interesting angle you've set up for that if you're going to try and turn left. Oh, truck wash. That's fun. I wonder if they're in Prime's network for washouts. Because we need to get the truck proper washed now because we got oil all over our catwalk. So there's that. Go ahead and signal so the guy behind us maybe gets off our butt. No, he's actually getting closer. All right, that's fine. Here's my brake lights before I start slowing down, just so you're warned. Okay, we're going to start reducing our speed. Move into the right lane. Please don't rear end me as you go by. Nope, cool, we're good. Impatient prick. This facility utilizes closed circuit television. What a surprise. A Walmart DC using CCTV. This Walmart DC looks tiny. What the heck? Walmart left lane. OTR drivers right lane. Got it. I don't know if I've ever seen a Walmart DC this small. I'm actually honestly surprised there's one this close to the Gordonsville DC. There's another Walmart DC just right over on the other side of Salt Lake City. Neutral. Hours of service. Change. On duty. Unloading. Okay. Keyboard on. Okay. Message. Compose. Arrived at location 90. That is our signal for our final stop. Drop trailer, no. Load temperature, -20. And send. Yes. 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 Okay, there we go. 3 button presses to get it. The new Qualcomm, a little unresponsive. I even took off the screen protector that was on it, and that didn't improve things too much. But it did improve things. So, slightly. Engine on. Ooh, detected a stop sign. We got dock 36, but they're not ready for us yet. So we're gonna get in front of the dock, go turn our paperwork in, give them our fellow tone numbers. They'll call and let us know when they want us to open the doors and back in. KS Swift. Too fast, Mr. Apophis, too fast. Ease up. Oh neat, they got shore power hookups. Are you gonna walk in front of me? No? Okay, cool. So it's like the only other trucking company out here that has those shin spoilers on the new Cascadias, like Palmer does. And now we turn right. I know where we are now. In the grand scheme of how every Wal-Mart DC is at least somewhat alike, except for the ones in California, I've determined where we are. It's just, that's a different angle than I've ever seen the guard shack at before. So, a little bit different, but not that big a deal. Alright, we're right next to MDS. Back a little bit closer to the door once I'm sure that I don't have my wings open, and then we go turn our paperwork in. So nice and easy.